All right, so we're over at the TT Combat booth, and I have the legend, Dave Lewis, here of Dropzone, Drop Fleet, Fame, all of the wonderful things. Welcome back. How's Gencon?
It's great. It's great to be back.
Awesome.
Really awesome to be back.
You have been extremely busy. I think that's probably a dramatic understatement. You have so many new things going on right now. I don't even know where to start, honestly. We have a new edition of Drop Fleet Commander that just came out, right?
That's probably the best place to start.
Right, because that's the newest, latest,
Fleet 2.0's just come out with a new 2-player start set with a new faction in it. So that's all fresh.
The Biofighters, the creepy beasties that are coming out to haunt us all.
Yeah, the game's first true evil faction, I would say.
The Scourge are pretty evil.
It's biological imperative for the Scourge. The Biofighters are in it for the pain and suffering of their enemies.
That's fair. That's fair.
Which makes them not very nice.
My buddy Kevin will be happy that you made that distinction.
Yeah. There's a difference there. The Scourge are predators.
Yeah.
You know. But yeah, so that's come out. The big thing for Fleet now is that pretty much the entire game is now plastic, which is a huge push for us, really. It's been largely what I've been working on for nearly 2 years, is redesigning all of these big ships.
The kits are super impressive. Impressive.
Each one of these sprues is a small miracle.
Yeah.
It's all like, I've pushed what's possible, I think, to the absolute limit
for sure.
For all of them. Like, every one of these sprues will build like 10 different variants.
Right. And you even added variants on some of them.
Oh, yeah. They've all got new variants.
Yeah.
Especially like these new battle cruisers come with tons of new variants. Right. For assembled plastics in here, there's some of the newest things. Like some of these, I only built these 2 the night before Gencon. So there's all 6 of the new battle cruisers here in plastic, including the Bifighter one, which has only kind of recently come out in resin, but it's now coming in plastic as well. All of these now build also super cruisers, which are small battle cruisers, or pocket battleships, which are bigger battle cruisers.
Right.
And all the existing ones too.
Right.
And a lot of
there's like 8 or 9 options on most of them.
Oh yeah, like probably around 10 as a guess, maybe even more than that.
Unbelievable.
We could build more than that, but it's just how many we let people build in rules. But they also drop these deployable features, which are going to shake the game up quite a bit. These all, like Dropzone, they all physically fit underneath the ships.
Of course.
And you drop them off the ship and they drop to the surface or onto space stations where they do various things. They can contest drop sites, but they can't control them. But they are quite hard to kill, and they do various annoying things in game, which is fun. And they're going to shake the game up a lot when they come out, I think. There's also up here, and I'll get it out because it's worth getting out.
Because it's gigantic.
There's the Bifighter Dreadnought.
That's incredible.
Which is the largest plastic kit we've released. Well, we haven't released it yet, but we will be releasing it fairly soon. It has there's a flight deck in there with fighters and bombers on it.
Of course.
There's multiple variants like everything else. And this is all injection molded plastic. Solid as anything when built.
Yeah.
Builds very nicely, even though it looks like crazy. But as a build, it's quite pleasant.
Yeah.
I didn't have any, it's an easy kit to build, even though it doesn't look like it's
right.
to build. But that's here.
The level of detail for the size of ship that is really impressive.
That thing was mad. I would say out of everything I've designed in the last 20 years of designing models, I'm most proud of that kit because it was very hard to do with one additional sprue. It builds with the battleship sprue, the new dreadnought sprue, and the bit sprue all combined to make that monster.
Very, very cool.
So other new stuff in here, there's a lot. So we'll go down the shelf.
Okay.
There's also all the new plastic battleships back there.
Yeah.
Which are all out except the Resistance one, which will be out soon. Actually, you know what? Because people haven't seen this very much, because it's the other ones they've seen, but this one they haven't really.
Nice.
That's the Resistance Grand Battleship. So it's bigger than all the others.
It's a thick boy.
Yeah, so this guy builds, it's the only kit where you get 2 identical sprues.
Okay.
You can either build it as 2 old battleships or a grand battleship. The old
weld them together and go.
Resistance ingenuity. Oh my god. So in the background, it's pre-war they built these.
Yeah.
So the old battleships are really old ships, really obsolete. Think like pre-dreadnought battleships in World War One.
Right.
So they've got rubbish scan range, they've got bad point defenses, but they can soak up quite a lot of damage. They've got quite good weapons, and they're quite cheap in points. So they're wholly new. They've never had those before.
And are they going to have a lot of hard point options, like a lot of the other?
Loads. Yeah, tons. Mostly broadsides for the old battleships.
Very cool.
But this kit will also, you can have 2 of them together to build the Grand Battleship, which is the same rules as the current Grand Battleships, plus a whole bunch of new weapon options.
Very cool.
Like these come off, and there's several prow weapons, torpedoes, all sorts of things.
Yeah.
Quite proud of this kit too. This was challenging to do with just one sprue.
Right.
But that's in there. So if we go down a shelf, down here, probably the most interesting thing in here is this guy.
Yeah, I don't recognize that.
So I meant to do a label for this with just a question mark on it.
It's what it should be, I guess.
I can't tell you anything about what it is. I can't just let people discuss it and work out for themselves. But I actually painted this the night before flying out here. I haven't painted a ship for like 2 years. But I really wanted to paint this because I wanted to get the scheme how I wanted it. And it was 2 a.m. that I finished it.
You did an incredible job for a 2 a.m. paint job.
What's interesting about this thing is that this is going to be 3D printed retail.
Okay.
So this model is impossible to manufacture any other way.
Because of the little spindly bits?
All sorts of undercuts and voids, and this is one piece. This is how it comes in one piece.
Wow, that's cool.
So it's partly a technology demonstrator. I wanted to do something very different with this.
And partly you just wanted to bully us by teasing us.
But there is more to it than just that. But this is just here just to,
So it's a new faction, question mark?
Question mark.
Yeah.
No comment.
Or I know you've mentioned in the past that you've talked about doing sub factions within the factions. I don't know if that applies to Fleet. Or this is zone.
Let's just say it's very different from the other factions we've got.
Yes.
Using the same technology, we have it very small on camera, obviously. Faction-specific launch assets.
Awesome. Okay.
Which people have been asking for years.
Yes.
These are the Bifighter ones.
Okay.
There's an absolute ton of detail on them, but you've really got to get close to see it. Yeah. This is a 3D printed sprue as well, again for retail. So this is what you'll get.
Right.
These are all done. I don't know when we're going to release them soon, hopefully, because they're ready. They're all they're fun.
3D printed infantry?
Yeah, for zone. We're just experimenting with these.
Yeah.
This is probably not how they'll come.
Okay.
I don't know. It might be. Like, we might do a plastic basis sprue. We might not. I don't know. We're still playing around with this. But just looking at the infantry themselves.
Yeah. It looks more like the old metal infantry. The level of detail.
The practicality of... Because this stuff basically behaves like plastic.
Yeah.
Except that you can't use plastic glue on it.
Okay.
But if you're gluing one into a plastic base, you can use plastic glue on it. And they're all going to be one piece because of what they are. They're so small, But that's... So there's those, but on a bigger scale for Dropzone. So everyone's seen what's happened with Fleet, and Zone is getting the same treatment.
Right.
So pretty much the whole range is going to be plastic for Dropzone.
Awesome.
Which is what I'm working on at the moment.
Oh man, that is a busy sprue.
This morning, I saw these literally for the first time this morning in person.
That's awesome.
Because these came from Cornwall and I came from London.
Yeah.
So these are the first 2 UCM sprues off the press.
Those are busy sprues.
Dropship sprue, armor sprue.
Right.
And
this is the idea is also going to be like, this is the tank sprue. It'll make all the variants, basically.
Yes. Yeah. All the variants, and you probably get 2 per box.
Yeah.
And that builds, with this box, will build you 6 sabers, 2 gladius, and 2 broadswords.
Wow. Great value.
With all the existing variants, plus some new variants.
Of course.
The dropship sprue, particularly challenging.
I bet.
Getting that Condor hull.
Yeah.
Like pretty much one piece. For the Condor.
Is that a new version of the Condor?
It's the Titania Condor, but it's a new variant.
Yeah.
So it'd be like Titania Beta.
I was going to say, my Condor
something.
looks skinny compared to that.
Yeah, the original Condor is much skinnier than this. We've had a version of this out in resin for a while.
Okay, yeah.
But this one's redone for plastic, so that's new.
I play Shaltari, so I wouldn't know.
There's a couple of sculpts for Battlezone in here.
You're right on that. That'd be
I wish we had some more to show off. We've got a lot more than that.
Yeah.
It's just what happened to come in the box for me to put in the cabinet. But
yes, so I've talked a little bit about Battlezone in my community, but I don't think I've ever done any videos on it. Can you just tell us just a little bit about that for people who might not know?
It's in the same universe as Dropzone and Dropfleet. 32mm heroic scale. There's 2 games there. There's Strike Team, which is indoor, room to room, small number of miniatures, maybe 5 per team, something like that.
Yeah.
Very corridor based, kind of throwing a grenade, that kind of gameplay. And then there's Battlezone, which is much more open battlefield. You will see vehicles in Battlezone with a much higher model count. It's not Dropzone. If you want to play if you want to play with 10 tanks, whatever, you play Dropzone.
Right.
But if like a tank in Battlezone is a really serious thing to have to contend with,
Right.
a bit like a Dreadnought is in,
and they're also very big.
yeah. I mean, they're Saber is about this big.
Yeah.
I've seen our Saber. The Bear is about this big. They're nice, chunky vehicles.
Big guys.
You gotta answer one question. Is there also a mystery what that UCM looking ship is?
So that's the Dreadhold, which is a prison ship, and we're working on. There's a kind of narrative thing with that ship. I'm not sure how much of it I'm allowed to talk about.
Okay.
But I think I can say that much.
Yeah.
It's actually the only ship in here that I didn't sculpt. It's not one of mine.
Interesting. It does look different, for sure.
But it is a prison ship, and it's civilians, so it's a different style anyway.
Okay.
It's kind of clearly UCM, as you identified it as UCM straight away. It looks, it's a UCM ship, but it's not military, it's penal.
Got it.
So this ship is for the worst of the worst.
Yeah.
The UCM has a penal colony, Wolfram, which is where your regular crims will end up.
Right.
But for the really, really nasty ones, end up in there.
Interesting.
And there's a lot of stuff that we're working on with that. But cool. Because I'm not allowed, I don't know how much I'm allowed to talk about that, so I won't say any more for
I don't
now,
want to get you in trouble.
But there's more to it than just that model. But there is stuff coming for that.
Very cool.
There's a Razor Worm in there for Strike Team. He's a big, scary bad boy.
Oh, yeah.
There's all the destroyers, they're like this big, and the eviscerators, they're pretty chunky as well. They're like,
I faced them in Dropzone, and it was not a pleasant experience, so I'm sure it won't be.
Very much not a pleasant experience. Like, it's smash through walls kind of thing.
Yeah.
You know?
So going back to the new games, they were crowdfunded. What was the reasoning behind doing two different games? One that's more indoor focused, one that's...
It was because of the players, largely.
Yeah.
Because we were talking about doing this scale for years and years and years. You know, it's obvious. You do this, people are like, oh, I'd love to see it in that scale. Those conversations happen at shows, actually, a lot of the time. You talk to gamers, and half of them, literally, the split is 50-50. Half of them are like, I really want a room clearance, kind of, and the other half are like, I want to see tanks in that scale. And the two games just don't work together as two rule sets. They're just not the same thing at all.
Right.
So in the end, we were like, well, why don't we just give people both?
Give both options.
Because it's, you can use the infantry are cross-compatible for both games.
Right.
The tanks, obviously, are only in Battlezone.
Yeah.
But the infantry are, if you own them, you can play both games, and Strike Team will generally take less time to play, obviously. And it's probably quite a good game to play at cons in the evening. Like bring a few, set it up in a pub, play some games.
Yeah, just a handful of guys.
It's good. It will have a smaller table.
Right.
Battlezone is going to be a proper big involved, with big scenery and everything, but gamers love that. Right. But they don't only want that.
Of course.
So yeah,
we want everything. We want all of the above.
So two rule sets. That was the reasoning.
Now
you're not really paying any more to have two rule sets as a player.
Yeah, all your other stuff will work.
Just an extra rule book and you're away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In the past, you did rules for campaign style games where you play drop fleet with nested drop zone games. Is that something you want to do with all 4 games now?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, totally. Yeah, it's such ships drop on the surface.
Yep.
Game of drop zone, drop in a building.
Yep.
Game of strike team.
Absolutely.
That's
it's the dream.
We're going to work on multiple different sets of rules for doing that because I've always said it's really resource dependent. Is how long have you got?
Right.
How many players?
You need a weekend.
How many players have you got?
Yeah.
But sometimes you don't have a weekend. Sometimes you just have a day. Do you want it to be a really serious competitive campaign? Do you want it to be fun and narrative?
Yeah.
There's lots of flavors of this. We played one at a show, a special event, just the once, where we had a drop fleet table and the drop zone tables, and every time you bombed a planet, it would send templates down to the drop zone tables, which was great fun. I mean, it's like the scale doesn't quite match up. But it doesn't matter. It's just really,
but it's a blast.
That's the example of it's a blast.
Yeah.
It's not competitive, but it's really good fun.
Sure.
I like tree campaigns. You might start off with Strike Team, where you send in a Spec Ops team to infiltrate and get the launch codes for something, or
and then move up a scale.
Node. And then when the node is activated, you can then send in your fleet.
Right.
And then you have to drop, and then you play drop zone. So it's whatever kind of works in order narratively. So yeah, that's the way I think it works best.
Yeah.
But you might not have enough players or time.
Right.
So we want to offer different options for that. But yeah, that's the idea here. That it's all the same universe. It's all,
We all dream of being able to take a weekend and just do nothing but play.
And obviously the rules
Different
are going to be
levels.
very much the same style now as well. I've written Zone 3.0, and Zone 3.0 is coming out with these new plastics.
Is there a date on that?
No, not yet. As soon as we can do it, is what I've been saying.
Yeah.
A lot of it is done. You know, and I'm well on the way with designing the models, redesigning models, should I say.
Right.
The rules are very, very much written. More playtesting to do, of course, but they're quite mature at this point, I think.
Yeah.
But there's a lot more work for us to do. So it's coming. We can't have it out too soon because Zone really needs it. So, yeah.
Very cool. And then the other thing is we have Operation Artemis,
Yes, we do.
which is a board game style game,
Yes.
but is also a drop zone.
Yeah. So Operation Artemis is great if you want to dip your toes in and experiment with like one of our games.
Yeah.
So this is in the same scale as Dropzone at 10 mil. You're playing with, it's kind of kaiju versus giant robots. It's the thing. These are new PHR walkers. These are bigger than the current ones for Zone. They're about this high, quite big. These you can use them in Dropzone. They'll have, I don't know if the rules are out yet or not.
Yeah,
they are. Yeah. So you can use them in Dropzone as well. There are actually some parts in here that you can't use in Artemis that you can use in Dropzone. That were already on the Sprues. And there'll be fauna rules as well for all the fauna, so you can use both. But this game is a standalone game. It doesn't have any expansions as yet. It's just it's its own thing.
Yeah.
You're trying to activate and do various objectives, largely to do with biophycer beacons that this PHR are trying to silence. But the planet's creature infested, and the creatures are not happy with the presence of the PHR. So they fight. It's a really fun game. It doesn't take all that long to play or learn. Simple rules. The miniatures are the same level of quality and posability as anything else we sell. So it gives you a really good taste of what our stuff is like.
Yeah. I put together the walkers a couple weeks back, and they're very, very cool models. I like them.
Yeah, they're a lot more posable than the previous ones.
Because the socket joints make them really...
They're less, actually, these, like, in the fluff, these are designed for exploring planets.
Yeah.
For longer periods of time, which is why the close combat weapons.
Right.
They never run out of ammunition.
Yeah. You don't see a lot of close combat weapons.
Exploring walkers, which is why they're more humanoid with more joints.
Yeah.
You can think of like a Type 1 walker as like a walking tank.
Yeah.
Like they actually have thicker armor.
Yeah.
But less damage points because they're smaller.
Yeah.
You know? So that's Operation Artemis, which is people have been really enjoying this.
Yeah.
I didn't do the rules for it. So I'm like,
but you still like it?
Oh, I like it. Yeah, I like it a lot. It's great. It's which is why I can kind of enjoy the rules because I didn't write them.
You didn't,
I can say they're great because I didn't write them.
Yeah.
Other people can judge my rules.
Right.
That's fine. Yeah. You know, but it's gone down really well. It's been fun. It's nice to have the creatures in plastic as well, which is cool because we used to have older ones in resin that weren't as good as these. These are nicer than the older ones were. And they're fun for enhancing games of Zone as well, which is cool. So it's well worth having if you're a Zone player as well, especially if you're a PHR player, for obvious reasons.
I know it seems like everything's moving over to plastic across all the different lines. I know you're big on the sculpting side of things. Has that posed any challenges aside from just like the layouts of the Sprues?
Absolutely, tons of challenges. Yeah, because you can't have thick parts, you can't have undercuts, and that means you have to design things quite differently.
Right.
On the flip side, though, it lets you do things like that biophycer dreadnought would be an absolute nightmare in resin. It would be a horrible kit to manufacture, it would be a horrible kit to build, and it would be a horrible kit to own.
And it would be fragile.
In resin, so it would warp, it would, but in plastic it's great.
Right.
And so it has its own challenges. The detail standards are slightly different. The machining process is obviously totally different from resin. It's much more industrial, very expensive to get these tools made. You know, so it's a big investment that we've made into both games for really boosting the gameplay in general. Because what we want these games to be played by as many people as possible. You know, this is now like you want to play spaceships at the moment. This is it. Fleet, I would say.
Well, I gotta say that being able to just buy a couple of different kits for fleet and have all the ships available is so nice instead of having to buy them all individually.
Yeah,
it's
you've got something like 30 plastic sprues for drop fleet.
Yeah,
something like that. Once these are all out.
Yeah,
which is a hell of a lot for a ship game.
Yeah,
it's a fully comprehensive range with 6 factions, which just doesn't exist anywhere else.
6 question mark, maybe 7.
No, but you know it's it's a fully realised, in-depth spaceship game, with a bigger universe to be involved in, and Zone is going to be getting the same treatment as I say, which is I'm loving seeing these.
Yeah, that's
I'm
really
still
exciting.
looking at them because like
they're new to you.
I've got to I've been sculpting pretty much nothing but plastic for years now,
Right.
apart from this.
Yeah.
Which has been a fun departure.
Yeah.
But otherwise, plastic is where it's at. And the most tricky thing is the modularity.
Right.
Getting and existing sculpts making things challenging.
Right.
Say these battle cruisers.
For sure.
There's like 4 or 5 different battle cruisers that already exist for each faction.
Right. So
this
you have to
sprue,
include those
it
and add
already
some more.
has to build those, and it has to offer more
Yeah.
than it currently does, and it has to fit on one sprue every time.
Yeah.
Which is why I say every one of these is a small miracle, because that's hard.
Yeah.
And,
It seems like it.
And the battleships are even harder because they're bigger.
Because they're bigger, yeah.
You know.
And they have more options too. So.
Be similar. I think
Yeah.
the battle cruisers will actually have more options than the battleships.
Yeah, okay.
Because there's the super cruisers, the pocket battleships, the battle cruisers.
Right.
It just depends on how many we actually let players build.
Yeah.
Really.
How many more
That's
get
it.
rules added?
In game, these deployable features, you don't pay points for them. You just choose whatever one you like before the game starts,
Okay.
which is nice because you can tailor it to the scenario to a certain extent.
Right.
What you choose, they do make an impact. They're not super game breaking, but they are. Take some bombardment.
Right.
Now you need a way to get rid of them.
Yeah, and it's cool just thematically because it
Yeah.
makes sense that the different factions would have
And
different
then the
shenanigans they be doing.
Because the Shaltari have the walking spider that crushes other features.
Okay, perfect. Well, that's what I'll be
Which is,
using because I play Shaltari.
So there it is, the little spider of death, which is that one's quite fun.
We always
And
have to
you'll
be
see the
special and different.
Firefighter ones are like loads bigger than all the others.
Yeah.
The Firefighter ones are huge, and they're really hard to kill because they're really big. So they're not going anywhere when they're down.
So my spiders can't trample them.
But they can.
Okay, good.
You probably need 2.
Okay, that's fine.
Trample.
We'll bring 2.
Yeah, yeah.
No big deal.
That's that's a broad overview of all the stuff we're doing. And
Awesome.
there's probably even more to it than that. There's probably stuff I've forgotten, but we're like,
Well, I will definitely reach out when stuff happens in the future because I'm very excited. I'm eagerly awaiting my Kickstarter for the other 2 games. But everybody go check out all the different exciting things that are going on in the Drop universe. Thanks so much for chatting with me.
very much.
Stay tuned for more from Gencon 2025. I want to send a huge thank you to the extremely cool kids tier on Patreon, the Steam Powered Scoundrels, Dogmatize, Spanner Rider, Tom Likely, Rob Younce, and Russets. And thanks for watching.